Hello, everyone. This is a review about master thesis, the steps to achieve your master thesis, what options that you have to take your master thesis. This session mainly directed to our students at Sustainable and Autonomous Systems at University of Vaasa. However, that the information given here might be useful also for other students from other disciplines as well. So in master thesis, of course, as you know, that master thesis is very important step to complete your master degree, and it is on special characteristics that not as a like usual or conventional course. It is a process that you will study by yourself, collecting material and collecting literature, making literature review about certain topic and so on, and also adding your thumb in the thesis, like for example developing some technology, or maybe making some simulation environment and comparing between different techniques and so on. So master thesis is very important. It will teach the students how is able to or how to learn to assess the information by himself or herself, how to collect information with the minimum guiding from the supervisor. Um, in your master thesis, when you start to register or you want to register for your master thesis, let me just share this University of Vaasa. So in OPA, so you can see here this ICAT 3990 master thesis. So if you get there, you can see that the contents. So you need to take this course, research plan, and the presentation. It is 10 credits, and then the master thesis itself is 20 credits, and then you need to do the master thesis presentation, which is 0 credit, and the maturity test or maturity exam is also 0 credit. Of course, you can go and register for this course for everyone. It is compulsory right now that every student should register for it. So it will be in English and in Finnish, and then you start your master thesis. I'm going to talk about the master thesis, not the whole process, but only about the master thesis itself. Okay, I will stop sharing this. So in master thesis, actually at University of Vaasa, we have 4 options. Okay. The first option is the most preferred one, at least for me. And the first option is that the students contacting some company, okay, or for example, in the area for Vaasa, or it can be in any company in Finland or even outside Finland. And it is this company or industry in general. Usually they have some technical problems, or they have some process they need to develop. So the students, when he or she contact the industry or company, and the company have some certain problem, they want the students, master thesis student, to work for it. So they provide the topic. The topic can be directly between the student and the company. Usually companies, they have their own like within their websites, they have contact information, so the students can approach those companies to the right contact in order to provide. They send, for example, your CV to the company, and also your area of expertise, and then you can ask if they have some open problems. Some companies, they share already, or they announce about certain topics that they are looking for master thesis workers for it. And some of them, they came through the professor or the instructor in the university, based on some going on project, or some personal relations, or they know someone in the company, for example, in Nokia. And then, for example, my contact in Nokia asking me if I have master thesis student, they want to work in machine learning and certain topic with them. So I can ask the students if he or she is available for doing this master thesis. So, but anyhow, regardless of the way of maintaining this connection, this is the first approach. And here we have actually very good, and why I prefer, or I do prefer actually this approach, that first of all, the students will learn some real problem. So from like industry, so they he or she will start to work in real issue, and they will develop something which will be useful or close from the market, either to the market directly or close to the market. The students will learn a lot of these skills from in the during this journey, which usually from 6 months up to 1 year with the company. And the second thing that students usually paid during this master thesis, during the master thesis for company. So usually they are paid either like salary or scholarship. Some company pay as a salary, certain amount per month, or some companies do prefer to like to pay one payment at the end of the master thesis as a scholarship. But anyhow, the student usually paid in the during doing this master thesis. And so this will be more relaxed for, especially for international students, instead of going and to work doing some part-time job beside doing their thesis. So they will focus 100% for just doing their thesis. The third benefit of doing the master thesis with company, that many students, when they complete their master thesis with company, they continue to work with the company. So me myself, I know several students who got now, or who are working now as a full-time with big companies like in Vaasa or in Nokia and other companies. And also there's a fourth benefit, that such kind of master thesis collaboration between university and company, this will enrich the collaboration and the scientific collaboration with companies, between university and company. When the students register for like master thesis with company or with industry in general, so they will provide instructor from their side, and we have professor or the supervisor is from university side. My role as supervising this thesis work to guarantee that it achieve the required scientific value, because doing the master thesis, it is a master thesis it is a master of science and technology, or master of science in technology. So yes, there should be technology, but also there should be some touch of science. So because of that, my work as a supervisor, that to guarantee that there's already science there beside the technology. There are some companies, for example, or some topics in the company, which happened with me, with some students, that they provide like absolutely technical problem. So it is very technical problem. And this technical problem, even the students did very good work, and they solved some technical problem, very technical problem, but there is no science on top of that. And because of that, I ask the students to add some chapters in order to make it like some more scientific work. For example, asking them that the data that, for example, they wrote some code for the company. So writing that part, that piece of code is not enough to get your master thesis. So I ask the students that to use what they have added to the code in certain company, just collecting some data, making some extra work, for example, data classification or clustering, and then try to find some a useful application for that. So this is the role of the supervisor in the university side to guarantee that there is a science and there is a scientific value for the master thesis. Of course, master thesis is the time is usually between 6 months to 1 year. So we don't expect to have like big novel result or breakthrough in the science, but at least there should be also some science or scientific value for the thesis, technical and scientific. Of course, the two terms sometimes merge together. So, but sometimes there's some technical work which it is hard to say the high value of the science there. So this is the first way to doing Girl Master, and this is the preferred way. The second approach that the student is not able to get any master thesis to be done with the companies after they contact many companies, either through his professors directly, or I think also there is office in university that they can help you by getting the contact information of the companies in the region. But if the students was not able to get any access to company for his or her master thesis, then we have the second option. The second option that we have some internal project. So sometimes we have funded project internally in the university, and also it is possible for the students that to get like a research assistant position to do his or her master thesis within that project. In this case, the students also will be paid from the project in that project. And also, usually you can see that this kind of projects have more scientific value than the work done for external companies. Okay, and also this second option, it is very good because the student also will be paid during doing her or his master thesis, but he has or she has to follow the instructions coming from the from the supervisor, because they need to fit or to fill the gaps required by this funded project. And then we come to the third option. Of course, at University of Vaasa, we have few actually funded projects. We don't have that many. So usually the number of master students is larger than the number of available seats or available positions as a research assistant. So in this case, we go to the third option, and the third option that the students will apply for master thesis with between him and supervisor. So he selects the supervisor that he wants to take the master thesis with him or with her, and then they contact him. Here we have two options as well. The first option, that the students have some idea that he wants or she wants to apply, and then they can just prepare roughly some like one-page research plan that what he or she wants to do in the master thesis, and then they discuss this with the supervisor. For example, in this case, my case, so the students approaching me that they want to apply machine learning for example, let's say for cybersecurity, for example, and they are very interested in this topic. Then I ask them, okay, write me like half a page or one page about what you want to do in that project. So they write it, and then we have we agree about Zoom meeting or face-to-face meeting, and then we go through the research plan. And if there is a value, scientific value in that research plan, and usually I accept the student application, but sometimes I just fine tune the plan. Some students actually apply something because they don't know the area very well, so they apply that they want to do this and that, but the work is very large work. It cannot be master thesis. It can be, for example, PhD. Actually, I received some research plan that it is much more than to be even a PhD. So it needs like 4 or 5 years, more than 5 years sometimes, to complete. And to be realistic, because we have limited time from 6 months to 1 year maximum, so we try to complete the master thesis within this time. So this is my duty, that just to retune the research plan. Sometimes the students apply something which is very little, so I ask them also to add a little bit more, and so on. So we agree about this, but usually the topic came, or the topic comes from the students by themselves. Usually I like this because many students have like previous experience, or they are interested to do something. So it is good that to do your master thesis in a topic that you like. The final way to do it, that the students come and he or she doesn't have any idea about the master thesis. He or she doesn't have any like preferred topic, and then we start discussing our discussion in general. So I ask them to, for example, what is their background, how is their skills in programming, in mathematics. So I try to know their background. I ask them in the beginning, so tell me about your background, about your bachelor, your master. I see their transcript, what courses they have, good grade and bad grade. Then this gives me some impression that where is the strength and weakness of these students. And then we agree about, so I provide the topic in this case. But usually the topics that supervisor suggests, most of them, they are purely scientific, like projects, or very scientific. So, for example, I ask them to write a literature review about certain topic, and then add something more above this literature review. The literature review usually including reading like maybe 60, 70, 100 article, and so on. So it is very scientific. The good thing that when the supervisor provide some topic that it will help the student in the future. For example, if the students wants to complete their PhD, this will be very good experience for them, because they will work into like very specific and scientific project or topic. So those are the four ways to do their master thesis. Sometimes this happens, like last year, for example, some master thesis students from SAS program, they got research assistant position, but not at University of Vaasa. So they get, for example, like position. You know that other other universities, like in Oulu or in Tampere or in Helsinki, or any other university, some professors there, they have funded project, but they don't have enough like students to work in that project. So those are open so they can open in LinkedIn, or sometimes in the university website, that they are looking for research assistant, and our students apply for that research assistant to do their work with them. It is okay from our side, from SAS. It is okay. You can do that, no problem, as far as the thesis is registered with University of Vaasa. So the thesis is registered with University of Vaasa. It is not allowed for you to register the thesis with other university. So you have to register it with University of Vaasa, your home university, and the supervisor, the main supervisor, will be also from University of Vaasa. He can me or someone else that in our team. So you can the supervisor must be from University of Vaasa, the main supervisor, but the second supervisor or the instructor can be from the other university. But the thesis will be registered for University of Vaasa. This should be very clear for the students. So, but it is open. Feel free also to contact other universities, other professors in other universities. We don't have any like constraints about that. As far as the thesis will be registered for University of Vaasa, and the topic should be in align with the topics of the program. For example, here we have in sustainable and autonomous systems. So we are doing some work which is widely covering wide topics, wide spectrum of topics. It can be in artificial intelligence, it can be in AI, it can be in energy systems, it can be in robotics, it can be in control, it can be in smart grids, it can be in a smart city. So many topics can be covered in this program. But for example, if the students want to take a topic related to social science, which is not related anyhow to our program, of course, you need to discuss this with your supervisor. Sometimes it can be hard to accept some topics that very far away from what we are doing here. Of course, it doesn't mean that SAS is not related to social science. We have some like AI and ethics of social science can be also somehow or security issues. It can be also related to our program. So this is the introduction to your master thesis for those who don't know how to start their master. So first register for that course that I showed to you. And also remember one thing that before I complete this session, or this information session, that when you do your master, many students actually they don't live in Vaasa, they live somewhere else in Finland because of their part-time job, because of they are doing for some company. And for those especially they are doing their master thesis by themselves. So we agree that they will do master thesis, for example, in application of machine learning, let's say in prediction of power demand, for example, and they want to do it like away from Vaasa, so we don't see those students. We might have some contact from time to time, but they do it independently. And actually, most of the master thesis, like 90% of the work should be done by the students. But anyhow, if this was not part of research funded project, or not part from industrial work, and the student do it by him or herself, remember that when you um, submit your master thesis book to the supervisor and instructor, and we check it. Of course, sometimes we receive many master thesis manuscripts within short time. Like we need to check all of them within like 2 3 weeks, and we have, let's say, 10 or 12 manuscripts, which can be too much work. And then we don't have that much time to go dig down in every page of this thesis. So we scan the thesis, we check the methodology that everything is fine, and as much as we can. But of course, most of those work is based on programming or simulation with using machine learning. We know today that the students, and not only students, actually, even the professionals, they use ChatGPT or those AI, generative AI, to generate the codes, for example, which is fine. There's no problem about that. As far as you know how it works, as far as you know that you can explain it, you can change it, you can modify it. So it is okay if you generate part of the code by using those generative AI based. Also, to polish and improve your writing, it is also okay. But using those techniques to generate the text itself. For example, you don't write, but you ask the ChatGPT to write for you one section, and you just put that section in the thesis. This is cheating. This is considered as cheating. And because there is no guarantee that you understand what is written there, even if you read it. There's a big difference actually between that you write the text yourself, based on your understanding of the topic. You go and you read like mini articles, you read chapters, you read books, and based on your understanding, you write the text by yourself, and then you take the text to the ChatGPT or to this generative AI techniques, and you ask them to improve the text for you. They will polish the text. They make it very nice looking text, but it is still based on your writing, based on your understanding. This is okay. This is fine. But as we observed with some others, with some students, that they come, for example, if I ask them what is the impact of AI on ethics in medical systems, for example, and they read nothing. they just go to the chat GPT, and then they ask them, write me 2 pages about this topic, and they copy this paste and put it. This is a big cheating, and if we actually find such kind of writing, we can give this thesis 0 grade. And another point about the programming. Remember that here in SAS program, we will have another presentation, thesis presentation. In the course of this ICAT 3995, the research plan and the presentation, you will present your work there in that course. That is fine. You will get 10 credits about that. But in the 20 credits of the thesis itself, you will have the graduation presentation as well. In this graduation presentation, it will be attended by the supervisor and also the instructor or the co-supervisor and anyone else interested in your topic. In this presentation, we will ask you and prepare yourself that you will be asked about anything in your thesis. We can ask you to run the code in front of us in the Zoom meeting or in the classroom. We can ask you that you open in front of us the code, and we ask you about certain statement in that code. And or we ask you that to change the code to do something else. So you should be prepared for that. You should be prepared that you will be asked about everything in your thesis, about either the code. So the code should be ready when you come to the presentation. The software that you use to generate the results should be ready in your computer. The manuscript itself, we can ask you about certain equation. We know that you don't invent those mathematical questions by yourself. You take them or you took them from other like sources or other literature, other books, other articles. We know that, but anything written in your thesis, we suppose that you understand it. Okay, so don't put anything that you don't understand it, or you don't know from where it come, or you cannot talk about it. I mean, it is not acceptable at all when the students have one equation in here or in his thesis, and this equation says that y equal to, for example, integration of x dx. Then we ask them, what is x here in this equation? And he or she cannot understand or cannot answer what is x. You put equation and you don't know what is the variables in that equation. So this is a big issue here, and it can be very serious in this case. So the master thesis, when you write your manuscript, you understanding what is in your thesis, in your manuscript. Okay, so every word you are responsible, every equation you are responsible, every code you are responsible about it. Okay, so this should be clear. We are not looking for like a big through thesis, as we said. It is not, it is not necessary to be like a very high standard thesis. We know that you are doing the thesis within limited time, and also you have other courses that you have done already. You might have like part-time job beside your thesis, so we don't expect that very high standard thesis for every thesis. But remember, the thesis grade can be from 0 if the thesis was not actually, usually we give 0 only in one case if there's cheating in the thesis. If there's cheating in the thesis, we give 0. Cheating in the code, cheating in the writing, everywhere. But if the thesis is weak, very weak thesis, it can be 1, for example. But after that, if the thesis is good, it can be 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have grading, we have gradual grading for the thesis. So I wish all of you that the best luck with your thesis. This is very important step in your study. You will learn a lot from this journey, and I wish you all success. And thank you very much for your listening. And if you have still any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me to ask in that regard. Thanks a lot.